solos need a charm. Yo, I want to test with more charms, main deck.
Play online.
No, I just want to play the matchup against aristocrats.
Well, go find some aristocrats.
Come on, Dan. It's my last chance to qualify for Dublin.
You got me.
Wait up! Come on, Dan, pick up the phone. I need a ride to the PTQ.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go throw up in the bathroom. Don't worry, I'll ask the judge for a time extension. And I'll wash my hands.
Okay.
+1 Dami Rampager. Swing with the team.
Block Smiter.
Blood Rush Smiter.
Sure. Take 11.
Take 12 for lethal.
4 + 3 + 2 + 1 + 1 is 11.
Oh my god.
My turn.
Yeah.
Untap. Swing for lethal.
Yeah! Get it, man! All right. Going to Dublin. Woo! You know, if you don't attack with that elf.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna pick up tacos and we're gonna draft.
Sounds fun. I'm in.
Cool. We're gonna use your prize packs.
The dream of playing on Magic's Pro Tour is shared by competitive amateurs all over the world, but invitations to the Pro Tour are few in number and difficult to earn, requiring great performances in previous Premier level tournaments or taking first place in a Pro Tour qualifier, or PTQ. Those who continually hunt for invitations have developed a culture of their own.
So Paul, what is a grinder?
It's someone who, plays a lot of tournaments, sometimes falls short, is eking out money finishes, has a real love for the game, for the travel, for the hotels, is maybe sharing hotel rooms,
What is the biggest sacrifice you've made in your life for the game of Magic?
You probably have to ask my girlfriend's dad. Like, all the girlfriends that broke up with me, I'm sure they have really great, robust answers for that.
What is the big difference between a grinder and an established pro?
Established pro is luckier, much luckier. And no, I mean, the thing about Magic is that the way the payouts and the prestige and the pro points and the status is conferred is it's so top heavy, and it all comes down to a few high leverage matches or a tiebreaker match or something like that, you know, that honestly the difference between the superstars and the legends or whatever and some guy you've never heard of could be, you know, 6 damage over 3 matches, you know what I mean, or a couple percent, or some match that happened on table 27 that messed up your tiebreaker so you finished 9th.
Does any part of you miss that lifestyle or that life of playing all the time?
I love the times with my friends in the car, and you know, just some of my most fun memories of Magic, just lying in the hotel room after day 1 of a Grand Prix, just laughing about all that happened during the day. But the play did, you know, take a toll on me. I'm prone to migraine headaches, and if I don't eat right, then I'm just miserable. And you know, I don't miss that part of it, but the hanging out with your friends can't be beat.
When I say the term grinder, what are some names that pop up right away in your mind?
Christian Calcano's the biggest I can think of because he's local, and like he will literally, if he has 0 money in his bank account, he will still go to a European Grand Prix. So he's probably the biggest grinder I can think of.
Christian, I asked some players when they thought of grinders, who did they think of? And your name came up. I mean, they say you're the poster boy grinder. Would you agree with that?
I mean, that's probably been the case like the last 2 years, I would say. Yeah. I've been to probably like 40 GPs or so in the last 2 years. So yeah, I'm pretty much a grinder, you could say.
How many PTQs do you think you played at before you finally won one?
Before I won one, it was probably like 90, I want to say.
Is it brutal, you know, coming up short time and time again when there's, you know, only room for one?
Yeah, I mean, it was disheartening, I would say. Like, I remember the year that I did finally qualify, I like told myself the week before, like, oh man, like I've been playing for so long, like this year if I don't get there, I might, you know, try and I don't know, like not play as much and tone it down a bit. And then the very next week, I won the first extended Moto PTQ in 2010, and I was going to the Pro Tour. I'm a really competitive person, and Magic is kind of like my calling, I would say.
Good morning, and welcome to the induction ceremony for the 2013 class of the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour Hall of Fame. This year's crop of Hall of Famers is an unprecedented bounty made up entirely of Pro Tour champions, something no previous harvest can claim. They also come into the Hall on top of their games. These are 3 players who you could all expect to see playing on Sunday.
When did it dawn on you that you might actually become a Hall of Famer?
I actually think that when I made top 8 at Pro Tour Nagoya, that was actually the first thing I thought about. That was my 4th Pro Tour top 8, and I was like, I'm feeling pretty good about this now. Like, I didn't want to, you know, count my chickens before they were hatched, but when I made the 4th top 8, that's like a pretty big jump from 3 to 4, and that was when I first started really thinking about it.
Have you had heartbreaking losses that maybe before you were sort of a solid pro? Do you remember any Pro Tour qualifying tournaments, local PTQs as they call them, that you remember sort of almost getting there but not quite?
No, I pretty much won all the PTQs I wanted to. Sorry.
Huey, 10 years ago, you were one of the most dominant players on the Pro Tour, and then you walked away from the game. So what compelled you to come back?
Well, last year I had missed Hall of Fame by 1 vote, and Wizards gave me a special invite to Pro Tour Return to Ravnica. And I guess I just went to the Pro Tour and fell back in love with it.
It seems that you're almost inseparable from Owen Turtenwald and Reed Duke. I see the 3 of you guys together all the time. Not only are you guys 3 amazing, incredibly skilled Magic players, but what is the camaraderie like there?
They're just both great guys. I love them both. They're 2 of my closest friends, obviously, like you said at this point. We all have a mutual respect. I think for whatever reason, our personalities mesh well together. Owen's the joker, and then Reed is sort of the
calm, serene one.
Yeah, and then I sort of just, you know, go back and forth between that, so it ends up working out. We have a lot of fun.
He said that, Owen, you're the jokester, and Reed, you're the nice guy, and he finds himself sort of right in the middle, in between. But if you had to say, who is he more like, or where does he fit on that spectrum?
Nobody's like Owen.
Yeah, the thing is, we all have like such similar personalities, and that's why we get along so well.
Do you think he would agree with that?
No.
The story of the top 8 of Pro Tour Theros begins with a pair of young Frenchmen and their devotion to Thassa, god of the sea, who in turn had rewarded them with decisive victories all weekend. In the quarterfinals, Jeremy Dizani called upon the sea god to extinguish the fire of Dutch Hall of Famer Camille Cornelissen and his Stormbreath dragon. Dizani's teammate Pierre Dajon drowned Control Master Guillaume Wafatapa in wave after wave of animalistic waves. Renowned American deck designer Sam Black was also bestowed with the power of blue magic, and while the black magic of Kentaro Yamamoto attempted to strip him of his sanity, Sam managed to finish off the Japanese stalwart with numerous attacks from a semi-sentient anthropomorphized fusion of fire and water. Meanwhile, Paul Rietzel's eclectic attack of soldiers and demons traded blows with the enormous monsters summoned by back-to-back Pro Tour top 8er Makahito Mihara. In the match's 5th and final game, Rietzel struggled to find spells he could cast, while Mihara called upon Xenagos, the Reveler, and his following of satyrs to seize upon the defenseless American.
You know, the biggest draw step of the game for me, obviously, was turn 5. I had to have a Plains to get Obsidat into play, and then the next turn I had to have another untapped lane to get Elspeth into play, and obviously I missed the first Plains, and it was just over from there. So,
after losing the first 2 games to Pierre Dajon in the semifinals, Paul's teammate Sam Black rallied to win the next 2 and force a decisive Game 5. Under pressure from repeated attacks by Dajon's Cloudfin Raptor, Sam turned the tide by sucking up Dajon's entire army in a cyclonic rift, leaving the Frenchman with nothing but a prayer to help him advance. Fortunately for him, that prayer was answered as Thassa, god of the sea, came to his aid, giving his creatures an underwater passageway to finish Sam with a lethal attack. Meanwhile, Dajon's teammate Jeremy Dizani also advanced to the finals after a surprisingly swift victory against one of Japan's greatest players, Makahito Mihara. And so the finals would witness the battle of 2 teammates from the highly successful Team Revolution, showcasing France's ongoing ascendance to the top of the global metagame. In Game 1, Dizani buried his fellow Parisian under endless water horses created by Dizani's merfolk wizard, the Master of Waves. But Dizani struggled to find enough spells in his library in Game 2, and Dajon attacked him to death with an unlikely weapon, the bizarre and oft-ridiculed Frog Lizard. Game 3 was once again dominated by the Master of Waves and Thassa, god of the sea, this time rewarding Dizani's devotion to blue magic and snubbing Dajon. And when the living waves crested yet again for Dizani in Game 4, Dajon could only respond by embracing his friend to congratulate him as the champion of Pro Tour Theros.
Jeremy, your team spent a full 2 weeks preparing for this tournament, but how many years of hard work did it take after you first learned the game to become skilled enough to win a Pro Tour?
Maybe 3 years. Yeah, I started to play Pro Tour 3 years ago. Frustration is easy in Magic. You can be frustrated all the time, but sometimes all is good, and this is the perfect moment.
Congratulations to Jeremy Dizani, the champion of Pro Tour Theros.
It's just, you look a little different in your OkCupid profile.
Yeah, that's just a cartoon caricature. Sorry if I misled you.
Can you at least do the fire of this thingy?
Afraid not.
It's just, none of my relationships with common civilians has ever really worked, so do you have any special powers at all?
Well, there's this one thing that I can do.
Elspeth, hey!
Oh God, it's Ruben. How did he find me?
Long time no see. What's up, buddy? So, did you change your phone number, or what's the deal?
That's pretty good.